Chapter 1. The Inheritance. Sarah Langley was a successful lawyer living in bustling Chicago. At 32, she had carved out a life of independence and achievement. However, one day, she received a letter that would change her life forever. Her estranged grandmother, whom she had never met, had passed away and left her a vast estate in the remote town of Ashwood. Curious and intrigued, Sarah decided to take a break from her hectic life and visit the mansion. As she arrived at Ashwood Manor, she was struck by its grandeur and eerie beauty. The mansion stood tall and imposing, surrounded by dense woods that seemed to whisper secrets. The townspeople eyed her with a mix of curiosity and fear, but she brushed it off, attributing it to small-town peculiarities. Chapter 2. Unsettling Discoveries. The first night at the manor was uneventful, but Sarah couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. She began exploring the mansion, discovering old family portraits, dusty furniture, and an extensive library filled with books on the occult. Among the books, she found her grandmother's journal. It spoke of strange occurrences, shadows that moved on their own, and a haunting presence that plagued the family for generations. The journal detailed the tragic history of the Langley family, with each generation experiencing untimely deaths and inexplicable phenomena. Sarah, skeptical but intrigued, decided to dig deeper. She contacted the local historian, Mr. Abernathy, who revealed that the mansion was built on land cursed by a vengeful spirit. Chapter 3. The First Encounter. One stormy night, Sarah heard faint music coming from the old ballroom. As she approached, the music grew louder, and she saw shadowy figures dancing. The air grew cold, and a sense of dread washed over her. When she turned on the lights, the room was empty, but the lingering coldness and the faint scent of decay remained. Disturbed but determined, Sarah decided to confront whatever was haunting Ashwood Manor. She began researching ways to communicate with spirits, hoping to understand the nature of the curse. She enlisted the help of a local psychic, Mrs. Whitmore, who agreed to conduct a séance. Chapter 4. The Séance. The séance was held in the grand dining room. Mrs. Whitmore called upon the spirits, and the room grew deathly silent. Suddenly, the candles flickered, and a ghostly figure appeared. It was a young woman in a tattered dress, her eyes filled with sorrow and rage. She identified herself as Eliza, a servant who had been wronged by the original owner of the manor, Thomas Langley. Eliza revealed that she had been murdered by Thomas, who had betrayed her trust and love. Her spirit, filled with vengeance, cursed the Langley family, dooming them to a life of torment. She demanded justice, and until her death was avenged, the curse would continue. Chapter 5. The Quest for Justice. Determined to end the curse, Sarah delved into old town records, uncovering the truth about Eliza's death. She found evidence of Thomas's crimes and the subsequent cover-up by the Langley family. Armed with this information, Sarah decided to perform a ritual to free Eliza's spirit. The ritual required items from Eliza's life: her locket, a piece of her clothing, and a letter she had written to Thomas. With the help of Mrs. Whitmore and Mr. Abernathy, Sarah gathered these items and prepared for the ritual. Chapter 6. The Ritual. On the night of the ritual, a full moon cast an eerie glow over Ashwood Manor. Zara, Mrs. Whitmore, and Mr. Abernathy gathered in the garden where Eliza was buried. They recited the incantations, and the air grew thick with tension. Suddenly, the ground trembled, and Eliza's spirit appeared, more tangible and fierce than before. Eliza demanded justice, and Sarah promised to ensure that Thomas's crimes would be known and acknowledged. The ritual continued, and as the final words were spoken, Eliza's spirit began to fade. She thanked Sarah and expressed hope for peace. Chapter 7. The Aftermath. With the curse lifted, Ashwood Manor felt lighter. The oppressive atmosphere was gone, replaced by a sense of tranquility. Sarah kept her promise, ensuring that Eliza's story was told and that her memory was honored. The townspeople, once wary, now welcomed Sarah, grateful for her bravery. Sarah decided to stay in Ashwood, transforming the manor into a place of healing and history. She opened it to the public, sharing the story of Eliza and the Langley family's redemption. As she stood in the garden where Eliza was buried, she felt a sense of peace, knowing that she had broken the cycle of torment and brought justice to a restless spirit. How did you like this story? Be sure to tell in the comment section.